in the
lying.
conversation you two were having over drinks or whatever and having a good time, did you tell her about your financial situation at that time?
Yes, ma'am.
Why would your mind not tend to just go with, she's trying to help me out because of what I just told her?
Even if that was the case, it wasn't alone. Even if she called herself helping me out, I took it as a grand gesture, too. You're right, Your Honor. I really did. I'm like, well, damn, you know?
So when she called you later, a few months later, and said, when are you going to pay me? Why didn't you just say, oh, I thought it was a gift?
I did. Matter of fact, I was in the middle of my sleep. I told her to call me back. She didn't. She continued to blow up my phone, as I stated in my initial statement. When I didn't answer her, she called my grandmother. And then I got a call from my grandmother.
Okay, what about this car situation? That she sold the car that you wanted to buy.
That's why she don't want to pay me back.
Wait, is that true?
I never asked her about the car. She called me and asked me did I want to buy the car because she knew I was looking for one.
Okay, and you said you wanted...
went and sold it to someone else. Yes, that did happen.
Were you upset by that?
No. It was a Toyota Camry, a 95 or something.
You didn't have
it was like a get around.
You didn't have nothing and you were so mad.
But was that
you were
beneath
so
you?
mad.
Stop talking to one another.
Come on now. That was just going to be like a little
so
get around.
mad.
She know that's not even my level of type of driving.
You see this woman, how she talking?
Come on
She don't
now.
even have a
The car
job.
she drives now, I had 3 years ago.
That's crazy. No, you don't.
What?
You never had a
Please.
business. You never had a
Yeah,
business.
I mean,
My business
guys,
paid off.
Ladies, we've got the issue. We've got it. We will try to resolve it for both of you. You're both excused. Thank you very much.
This courtroom is now in recess.
All right. I don't think that we even need to credit the validity of the promissory note in order to arrive at a fair verdict. I believe that the acceptance of the money from the grandmother for this debt that the defendant believed was $1,000 was an accord and satisfaction, that the debt was resolved. Her defense to the $1,000 that the plaintiff gave her cannot fly in that case. She cannot claim that I'm not giving you back this money because of the existence of this prior debt, because that prior debt no longer exists. So what we have is an outstanding loan, and I would find in favor of the plaintiff. What do you think?
I agree with your point about the accord and satisfaction. I think that that debt was extinguished, but were there no promissory note? I think what the defendant was saying was they had a breakdown in the relationship. Then after a long amount of time, the plaintiff's mother passed. The defendant was like, bygones are bygones, I'm there every day, being with her. And then the plaintiff basically at some point when she heard the defendant was having financial trouble said, here's $1,000 so you don't have to pawn your jewelry. The defendant said, I thought it was kind of her way of making amends without saying, I know I owe you this money, here it is. And that's a plausible story to me. However, I don't think we need to be expert handwriting analysts to see that these are the same signature and the same handwriting. She had to have found not only her printed style of writing, but her signature.
Yeah. No, I mean, the signatures...
I just don't believe she forged this. It's too good.
The only thing I have a concern about, and this hinges on the plaintiff's credibility for me, is the fact that she claims that they had this text conversation where the defendant admitted, I owe you this money on more than one occasion, and didn't bring those texts, knowing how important it was to get something in writing, and she stressed that point.
No,
so why would you delete those text messages?
What was her explanation?
She didn't have one. She said she deleted them.
I think it's a point to consider, but I still think...
I do too. And the reason why I would say, Michael, that I would go the route about how the signatures are the same is because...
You want to validate the...
I want to validate the plaintiff, considering what she does.
You know, I'm not...
There was an accusation
I'm not going to fight either of
forgery,
you on that. I'm not... I mean, I can look at the signature, and it is almost identical.
And frankly, if you're trying to forge a document, you don't meticulously put the person's name 3 different times.
And I might have questioned it if it was just the printed name versus a signature.
Except that she replicated her printed name
she
very
did,
well.
But it's still easy to replicate, is what I'm saying.
I just wanted to give both of you an out
Yeah.
to come to the same conclusion that I had. And we have a verdict.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.